course. Thank you, Your Holiness. Now, Artigan, as to your concerns...
The Inquisition established an armed presence in Ferelden territory. You outright seized Caer Bronach in Crestwood.
Yes, from bandits. Would you like us to give it back to them?
Your help was appreciated 2 years ago, Inquisitor. Now order has been restored, yet you remain. Invading under pretext of restoring order is exactly what the Grey Wardens did to us centuries ago, and we exiled them. Now the Inquisition is doing the same thing with Grey Wardens in their ranks.
Your concern is ill-founded. The Grey Wardens have proven their worth time and again.
Of course Orlais tolerates this interference. The Inquisition is the only reason Selene still has the throne.
Rest assured, Tegan, the Empire of Orlais will not stand idle if the Inquisition oversteps its bounds. Unlike Ferelden, however, Orlais understands that these were the well-intentioned mistakes of a young organization.
An organization in need of a guiding hand. Yours, no doubt.
Pardon me, Inquisitor. Divine Victoria wishes to speak with you in private.
The Divine Victoria? Who is sitting just up there?
Yes, and who was once your spy master. It's a pressing matter, Your Worship.
My apologies. An urgent matter has come to my attention. Ambassador Montillier, can you handle this for a short while?
Of course, Inquisitor.
This is highly irregular.
Perhaps it would be best if we took a short recess. The guard said we should both see this. I believe she was correct. A Qunari warrior in full armor. How did he get into the Winter Palace?
Would the Iron Bull know anything about this?
I asked, and he is as surprised as we are. Since becoming Tal Vashoth, he has had no contact with his people. He seems frustrated at not knowing more.
So what would the left hand of the Divine see when she looked at this?
This is a warrior, not a spy. Part of the Antam, the Qunari military. Most of his wounds come from a fight against someone using magic, but at least a few are from a blade. He was badly hurt, separated from his allies, and made it here before he died. But how?
We need to find out what's going on. Can Josephine manage the diplomats while I look around?
She will be fine. It's all speeches and posturing for the first few days anyway. I will extend the recess as long as possible. I will also have our friends ready themselves for battle if need be.
You think that's likely?
I think the Exalted Council may be more exciting than we expected. Well met, Your Worship.
showing me the alluvians. Judging by the bloodstains, he tried to get through here.
Is there a problem?
This mirror doesn't look broken, but it's inactive. Maybe there's a way to unlock it. The blood trail leads to this mirror.
Good. Let's see where this Canary took his wounds.
Elven ruins. I'm not sure we're even in Orlais anymore. Another Kunari, dressed like the one in the Winter Palace.
He's part of their military, dressed for war.
Scorch marks everywhere. This is the work of a mage.
A powerful one. I can still feel the heat crackling.
We need to find out why these Kunari were here, and who did this to them. Over there, Kunari. If we want to know why they're here, we've got to get across to that island.
The elves bound a spirit here. It feels old. Very old.
What does it want? I think I know what to say. Armelana de Favrin. Bravas Virinaris.
Seemed to work. What did you say?
It was part of a ritual, a secret greeting from those Van Harel trusted. If Mythal's Well of Sorrows knew this, were they close? Friends, or... I'm not sure. That was like Balefire. It claimed this was a refuge for elven slaves.
You mean the ancient elves kept slaves? Maker's breath. One more thing never to tell Daisy.
This whole valley was a sanctuary created by the dread wolf, Fen Harel.
Fen Harel? The Dalish elves' god of misfortune.
Too bad we're not here at night. We could come back when it's dark, use the stars to see exactly where we are.
Come back in the dark, for Kunari to ambush us.
Lost your sense of adventure already, Master Tethras?
Oh, I forgot how much you always liked this kind of crap.
Just think of it as research for one of your stories.
Rainier, how do you think I survived a year with the Inquisition without cracking?
That alluvion only took us a short distance. That's the same lake we saw from the other tower.
Has its uses. Move a lot of soldiers around quickly that way. Dead, but his blade's clean. He was taken by surprise.
This can't have happened too long ago. The blood's not even dry.
Here we go again. What a change of pace from the Winter Palace. A clear sky, a beautiful view, and yes, fields and fields of stripweed as far as the eye can see.
How do you know that?
Terrible stuff. Looks like grass, stings like a knife, and causes sores if you so much as brush against it. So, of course, everyone in Manrathus insists it makes a very decent tea.
So, we're getting the band back together. That's exciting.
Don't tell me the Viscount of Kirkwall misses skulking around and shooting people.
You've never been to the Viscount's Keep, have you, Sparkler? Spend 2 hours there and you'll be glad to be shot at.
This is Van Harel helping former slaves as a mortal, not a god.
He made this because he didn't want followers worshipping him.
Ordinary guy saves people, accidentally founds religion. Sounds a lot like the chant, actually.
Van Harel sounds like quite the rebel. The old elven gods must have simply loved that.
This claims the elven gods were just Evanuris, powerful but completely mortal mages.
Almost like these slaves were being untaught what they'd learned. Being formed into a rebellion.
If that's true, Van Harel was teaching these freed slaves the truth about these false gods.
What happened?
It felt like the anchor stung me. This looks like it fits into that pedestal by the broken bridge. Kunari.
Bashidon, the Inquisition doesn't leave alive.
Why did those Kunari attack the Inquisition on sight?
Kunari soldiers always have orders. The Kunes declared us an enemy.
Are you saying the entire Kunari nation wants us dead?
Well, at last the Inquisition and Tevinter have something in common.
That's Van Harel. Removing the face markings from a Dalish elf?
Isn't this place older than the Dalish?
Maybe the markings used to have a different meaning? What's this? Hidden weapons. These freed slaves actually fought back against the Evanuris posing as gods.
Interesting word, Evanuris. If all it means is mage leader, well, they were basically magisters.
This letter says the Kunari came to these ruins because the Alluvians connect to Halam Sharal.
An attack on the Winter Palace.
It was some sort of infiltration. There's no more details. A note about an unknown intruder coming through an alluvian. They turned spirits against us, then fled.
It must be a mage. They killed any Kunari in the way and let the spirits do the rest.
Two parties, then. The Kunari, and a mystery agent determined to stop them. Come on. We have to warn people about the Kunari's designs on the Winter Palace.
One dead Kunari was bad enough. Now we have more, and they're hostile.
This makes no sense. The Kunari may not be friendly to the Inquisition, but they have no reason to attack us.
They also have no reason to be here, or using Illuvians at all.
I've had the mirror placed under guard for now, Your Holiness.
Cullen, please just call me Liliana.
Yes, Liliana.
The Kunari can't hide forever. They're inside those alluvians somewhere.
We must ensure that the Kunari do not disrupt the negotiations. The Exalted Council is in a very delicate state.
I'm certain you can soothe the nobles' ruffled feathers while we solve the real problem.
Not when the Inquisitor insults everyone present by walking out in the middle of the talks. Our only advantage is that Orlais and Ferelden are divided in goal and grievance. If they unite against us, Divine Victoria will have no choice but to support their claims. We could lose everything.
I know we're asking a lot of you, Ambassador. I promise, we won't make this any harder for you than necessary.
My apologies. I will attend to the Exalted Council.
And while Josie does that, we will investigate.
We, Your Holiness?
You do, Josie?
I'll head back to the crossroads. We need to find out what the Kunari are doing and why they attacked.
And I'll have a quiet word with our honor guard.
Everything going all right so far?
We'll talk more another time.
I'll be here if you need me. Everything going all right so far?
I'm surprised no one from the Council of Heralds wants your autograph.
You just missed them. Duke Cyril keeps asking me for spoilers for my next book.
I don't understand how you could just become a Viscount.
when the ruler of a marcher state dies and there's no heir, the nobles of the city pick a new ruler. Only none of Kirkwall's nobles actually want the throne. Most of them think it's cursed, actually. They can't leave it empty, though, or some other state like Starkhaven or Ansburg will probably invade. I complained about the empty office when it interfered with my reconstruction efforts. They took that as volunteering.
So Bran used to be Viscount, and now he just follows you around?
Provisional Viscount.
Pretty much.
With a permanent appointee, finally, in the Viscount's office, I am free to return to my post as Seneschal.
He means my true calling is arrogantly telling people they can't talk to the Viscount. He's good at it, too.
Any word from Hawk?
I got a message from, well, best not to name an entire chain of smuggling syndicates in polite company. Anyway, Weishaupt is apparently the special kind of mess that only appears when Hawk shows up. I'm not entirely sure how it'll all play out, but my money's on Hawk walking away from the Warden's fortress as it explodes.
We'll talk more another time.
I'll be here if you need me.
The spirits have fled, flying, fluttering, fast to the farthest fade. They're afraid of the veil tearing again.
Hello, and shh. I'm trying to figure out why everyone is acting so weird. I mean, besides because Canary assassins and everything. You see it, right? There's something going with the elf servants. Makes sense after that ruin, right?
It's been a couple years. How's everything sitting with you?
It's weird meeting back up and seeing everyone get their grey. First time I've been anywhere long enough to get fond of things. Leliana's friendly when she wants to be. My people sometimes do things for her, like I do for you. All that blood and thunder just so everyone can live well an hour once around. Good lesson, I suppose, if there had to be one.
When you start going on about elves, it's hard to tell if it's about them or you.
Yes, you're ever so clever. Arse. Point is, the servants have no complaints. No asking for a Jenny. They serve this lot, but don't want them done for anything.
So, the nobles are nice and the servants are happy?
Two things that have never been true. Mark that I said it. We're fighting Canary, but something else is on the up.
I suppose you've a lot to say about that elven ruin. About the creators.
They're not even demons. Just big magey knobs punching down. And yes, the shits who use them to make me feel broken can still eat it. But always waiting for that fight is way too much work. It's like doing half the hurt for them. Maybe we're old now, but I'm tired of it. We've new fights to look forward to. We always do, seems like.
We'll talk later.
Count on seeing you, yeah?
So, you and the Bard. You know most bards are spies, right?
You were a spy, Chief.
Look, I just don't want you to get burned.
Don't say it.
Because then you'd be creme brulee. Creme brulee.
Creme, I understand you and Meriden are seeing each other?
Yes, Your Worship. I mean, we've just started, so...
Oh, come on. Get in there, show her what you can do.
Listen, Chief, there's this thing you may not have learned growing up Canary and all.
Hey, I'm great at foreplay.
That's good to know, Bull.
I didn't mean foreplay, I meant courtship.
Oh, well, that's a waste of time. You two are good though, right? You need me to talk to her about... things?
No! No. Thanks, though. We're good.
The Chargers have been with the Inquisition for a while now. Is everyone still happy?
No complaints, Your Worship. The Inquisition's been good to us. We'd disband and join the Inquisition officially, but the Chief gets this sad dog look when we suggest it.
The loyalty is touching, Creme.
I'll talk to you later.
Anytime, boss. Wish I hadn't burned all my contacts with the Ben Hasrath. Be nice to have some idea what they're doing right now.
Yeah, but then you'd be on their side, Chief.
Yes, but I'd know things. I like knowing things.
I'll talk to you later.
Anytime, boss.
Here's you. Hello again.
We'll talk later.
Count on seeing you, yeah?
How did Varric, of all people, become the Viscount of Kirkwall? A mystery for the ages.
I hear you've been rebuilding the Seekers.
Slowly, but yes. I managed to find a few of my former comrades who'd scattered to the winds. Some of them were unsuitable, and I did not ask them to return. Others felt as I did, once they read the Lord Seeker's tome. We've since recruited a few candidates who are going through training now, with full disclosure. What comes after this, I cannot be certain. I am making it up as I go along.
Sounds familiar.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
So what do you think of the Chantry?
You ask me just to poke at me and see if I react, don't you? It is what it is. Most Holy's reforms are interesting, to say the least. I hope they last once Liliana is gone. Regardless of what I think, it could have been far worse. You and I both remember the dark times we faced. Sadly, others have far shorter memories.
What do you think of the Exalted Council?
They are frightened of your power, and there is no longer a hole in the sky to remind them that it was needed.
Maybe what they need is a quick reminder of that power.
Only if you want to stiffen their resolve. Even so, I would wait and see where this leads. Calmer heads may yet prevail.
When has that ever been the case?
I'm an optimist. Just ask Varric.
I'll see you later.
Farewell.
Tell me, these strange spaces past the Alluvians, are they safe to explore?
None of it's been as bad as the Nightmare in the Fade, I can tell you that.
I will take your word for it. And yet, you've accomplished so much in the calm of these past years. I wish you did not have to imperil yourself for us. Again.
I wish I didn't either. I'll be glad when this Kunari business is over.
You've already made headway. Let us hope it is soon. I will do what I can here. Once the Kunari are dealt with, brace yourself. The Council is just as relentless. It is good to see you.
Well met.
Was there something you needed?
Have you had a chance to speak with Liliana? Away from work, I mean.
Some, yes. Liliana has kept in contact, unofficially of course, but it's good to see her again. Arguing with her in person is far more satisfying.
Do you remember the first time we came to the Winter Palace?
All too well. I've already answered a half-dozen questions about my personal life. The reason we're here is because we made a difference. That's worth enduring the political small talk.
Is there anything I should know?
We were permitted soldiers here, but our every move is watched. Some things never change.
Is there any news from Ferelden? How is your family?
My sister Mia keeps me informed. As I understand, she's training my nephew to best me at chess.
All good news, then.
Not all, but most of it is, and that's good enough.
I should go.
Inquisitor?
Divine Victoria.
Please don't. It would be nice to just be Liliana again for a few days.
It'll save breath to not call you Divine Victoria all the time.
Good.
Tell me about your nugs. Did you get any new ones?
Oh yes! A litter was born just a month ago. We are weaning them right now. If you are hoping for one, I'm afraid they're already spoken for.
Do you miss being our spy master?
I think I miss the people more than the work. Josie, Cullen, I didn't notice how much I liked having them near until they weren't. We write, of course, but it's not the same.
Have your agents any news I should hear about?
There is activity in the Tirashan. Strange elves, like those at the Temple of Mythal. No news of Solus, however.
Perhaps later, Liliana.
I'll be right here if you need anything.
Darling, what can I do for you?
How are things for the Circle of Magi?
If you call it the Circle while they're in earshot, you'll never hear the end of it, my dear. The College of Enchanters is a ridiculous mess, but it's still a useful institution for training mages.
I wanted your opinion of how Divine Victoria is working out.
Liliana is managing to hold the Chantry together, just barely. Likely your influence.
We'll talk another time.
Quite the party, wasn't it? I hear it left the Orlesians and Fereldans completely aghast. Andraste's herald, the Inquisitor, toasting a Tevinter Magister. Not a bad scandal to leave on.
What is this ambassadorship about, exactly?
I believe my father set it up, but the Imperium certainly didn't object. They'd love for the Inquisition to fall apart, so they're happy if it seems they consider this council a waste of time.
That makes no sense.
No? If Dread Tevinter actually pushed for the Inquisition's end, everyone else would disagree on principle. So they send a nobody pariah and hope for the best. Makes perfect sense to me.
Any thoughts about the Exalted Council?
A few. Divine Victoria needs a new tailor for one. From the paintings of Liliana in that enormous robe, you'd think she was pregnant. Could cause a delicious scandal. As for this whole Exalted Council business, well... I warned you once that no one would thank you for saving the world. Sadly, I'm always right. So long as the Inquisition's around to remind them they're not really in charge, they'll never sleep comfortably. Whether they have the guts to take action, I suppose we'll see.
What did you do in Tevinter while you were away?
I'll tell you what I didn't do. See Father even once. Mother tracked me down once, which was... nice. I also went to Carinus to see my good friend Maeveris. Then I settled some of Alexis's affairs. That wasn't fun.
Another time.
I look forward to it.